For more on what we can expect from the next round of trade talks, I want to welcome Ambassador Wendy Cutler, former acting deputy U.S. trade representative. She is now vice president of the Asia Society Policy Institute. Ambassador, good morning, and thank you for joining us. What do you think the chances are we actually get something real here?
Well, again, there's going to be no breakthrough at this current round of talks. This is going to be a meeting that's taking place 4 weeks after the G20. I think both sides will want to confirm that agriculture purchases are going forward, that relaxation of Huawei licenses are going forward. And then they'll really need to get down to the dirty, and that is try and figure out which text will be the basis for moving forward. And then in future rounds, start getting back to the substance of these issues, trying to break the deadlocks.
But you just mentioned two things that I imagine are gating factors before you even get to the taxes and the tariff issue, which is to say, Huawei, I don't think has been resolved. And maybe you could argue that the agriculture issue has been resolved, but at least temporarily. But speak to the Huawei issue, because that seems to be sort of the ultimate pawn or chess piece in this negotiation before we even get to the others.
I think for now, what China wants to see is some licenses given to U.S. companies to sell their components to Huawei. And presumably, Lighthizer and Mnuchin can give the Chinese some assurance that that process is going forward.
But do you think that they should be doing that? I mean, look, there are advocates or political advocates on both sides of the aisle, Chuck Schumer on one, others who say we should not be doing businesses with them at all.
Well, my view is we need to sort out what's national security and what isn't national security. Is selling some semiconductors to Huawei for their handsets that if the U.S. doesn't provide those semiconductors, other countries do? I don't think that's national security. That might be okay to go forward with.
You know, Ambassador, can I ask you in terms of the timing? The president obviously saying that it was in China's best interest to hold out. I hear a lot of people here speculating that even the administration isn't going to be that anxious to make a deal because it would sure be nice to announce something, you know, next year ahead of the election. So how do you think all of this factors in terms of the timing on both sides?
Well, I think both sides don't want a deal right now. It means they need to keep meeting, but I don't think the meetings are going to be as intensive as they were last fall. However, I think ultimately both sides will reach a deal. But the timing in trade negotiations is so important. So all the work they're doing now will help lay the groundwork for when both sides are ready to make the deal.
Ambassador, the longer this goes on, in a way, maybe the urgency goes down for both sides in the sense that, you know, 1 year after the tariffs were imposed, I mean, you know, you kind of adjust to it, or the year-over-year change is not that dramatic. The Chinese economy not doing great, but also kind of in a steady state right now. So what are the chances this is status quo?
Well, what you haven't mentioned is the president is threatening another slew of tariffs that would hit $300 billion worth of U.S. imports, which would hit our consumers very squarely and directly. So I think if the president hints that he's going to be moving forward on those tariffs, both sides may find that it's in their interest to try and reach a deal.